Now we're recording. We are live. We are live, but not live. We are recording live right now. This is a Zoom call, and we are gonna hook up with the homie Zoin, Zane. So many different names, so many aliases. We're gonna get to the bottom of it. But band of wackos. We're gonna check in with the homie and see how everyone in that universe is doing. The band that played Denny's and got national recognition and was ready to tour the fucking country. And then this shit happened. So what are we doing to adapt as artists, as musicians? What are we doing to adapt? What are we doing to adapt? Wow, the waveforms are really small. Yo. Hello. I gotta put on gallery view.
What?
Yo.
What's up, Neil?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, wait, how'd you do that?
In the top right corner, there's gallery view.
Uh-huh.
And then that way you can see the both of us at the same time.
But is that Chinese guy behind you for real?
Oh, that's okay, everyone wants to know this. It's just a video. You go to the little video icon in the bottom left, and you go to choose virtual background.
Oh, here we go.
And then if you got something on your desktop that like loops or some sort of video, that could be your background. It kind of like green screens it for you.
No, that's a little too much.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think because I got a white wall behind me. I think that's why it works so well.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the studio's cool enough.
So where are you at, man?
I'm at our jam space. Yeah.
What city?
In Long Beach, California.
What cross streets?
Where you are? We are on our jam space is actually in Signal Hill, so on it's like on Redondo and Industry.
Okay, I was on 29th and Pacific, so I was like right on the border of Long Beach and Signal Hill for a minute. I lived there in the summer.
Oh, you lived there?
Of 2017, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I was still kind of new out here, and I was living in West Hollywood, and I got the spot with my ex because she hated Hollywood. And we went down there, and she hated Long Beach too, and she hated me.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so
she was just a hater.
Yeah, well, she had issues. She grew up in the woods in Michigan, and she wanted to.
Oh, duh.
Yeah,
chill.
She wanted to like run away and have some sort of adventure with some guy she just met, and that was me. And my dad just died, and I was just like, "Oh, this is a good idea." And turns out it wasn't a good idea. Bad idea.
Maybe it was a good idea for where you were left in your future, but it was just something that sucked to go through.
It needed to happen for me to be where I am now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, as like cheesy and what's the fucking word? Cliche as that shit sounds, it's like I had to go through
corny.
That. Yeah, but I was hurting, man. I my pops passed away, and that's a whole different story. And then I was in this long-term relationship that ended up like opening up and turning into like this fucking polyamorous weird thing that I was not really ready for, and that shit exploded. And and she was just like happening to be the new person that thought I was cool, and then she got to know me and realized I'm pretty intense and.
Damn. Well, what street did you say? Pacific and 23rd?
That was Pacific and 29th. That was 2017, and I was there for probably like 8 months, and then I was homeless, and then I started sleeping. I started staying in Orange County after that.
Where in Orange County?
Fullerton.
Oh, that's right. Oh, with Josh.
Yeah.
Jutting.
I was one of there was 9 people there. Because
is that where Oh, I know the house that you're talking about. His parents used to own it, and now he has it. I think. I imagine he still lives there.
There's the landlords were like an older couple, and and I don't think they're definitely not Josh's parents. They
okay, never
so
mind.
that might have been like the spot after that spot.
No, this is definitely before. This is like.
Oh, that's what I meant before. Like, my brain, dude. I've been up since 4 a.m. Yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on anymore.
I know you texted me at 4 a.m. and I remembered that you said you always get an early start, and I still hadn't gone to sleep yet, and I was like, oh, dude, I better go to sleep.
Dude, yeah, this morning was earlier than usual. Sometimes, a lot of times, like 6 or 7, but like this morning was I'm just like, it's 4. I'll drink a Monster Energy drink. Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, I'm making good decisions. But yeah, dude, we've been rapping here back and forth a little bit here and there. How are you holding up, man?
In the quarantine?
Yeah, just in general in life. I mean, life is quarantine now.
Yeah. I was like, going crazy at first and really missing my friends. I realized yesterday that like, I don't even, I saw the protesters in Huntington Beach, the like Trump supporters that were like protesting to open up America again. Yeah. And one of them had a sign that said, I need a haircut. And then I realized like what is actually affecting me in this quarantine. I don't give a shit about a haircut or a mall being open or like a fucking coffee shop being open. I just want to like hang out with my friends and play shows and shit, So that was driving me nuts at first, and but lately I used some band money to go buy this MacBook that I'm talking to you on right now, and Logic, and so Ben Allen hooked me up with some recording equipment. So now I'm straight. Now I just stay up till 7 a.m. and make music. And I feel, like I'm doing something. So, and then like twice a week, I go meet up with Alan here and we write music and send it to Luke, who is in full blown quarantine right now.
Yeah. Is he with his dad?
Yeah.
He's with St. Papa Michael.
Yeah, and he's just like, getting drunk with his dad and like making music on Logic with his dad. So like everybody seems to actually be doing the same thing. Alan's been like working on he has a solo project that's been going on for like years, like since before I met Alan. So definitely before WACKO was a thing. Yeah. And he's working on his 3rd release. And every time I've known Alan through 2 Hoop Jail, that's the name of his solo project. Hoop Jail, like recording sessions. Okay. Like when he does that shit, he's not doing anything else, not focusing really on anything else besides that. And so quarantine happened right at the beginning of him starting to do that. And so it's no different anyway. He's just sitting in his room, like making drum loops and weird sounds. Yeah. So he's doing fine too.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too is like I've been like doing all this video editing and I was doing all this shit trying to get my YouTube channel off the ground, and I was doing shows here and there, but I've been like ever since I quit drinking in 2008, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I used to like get real nutty on the sauce and piss myself all the time, and I was like 250 pounds, and my doctor said I was gonna die young, and my blood pressure was like that of an 80-year-old dude, and so I quit drinking because I just had enough. And but ever since that, like I've kind of been in the social distancing a little bit, just because I had to reacclimate to being able to communicate with people. Because I'm like super anxious. That's like half the reason I drank all the time, is because it was like lubricant. I could like go and talk to people without like staring at my feet or like fidgeting with my face. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I'm used to just like hunkering down and working on projects. So it's cool, but what's not cool is. Yeah, I can't, if I do want to go and do some normal ass shit, like go to a show or see friends or, it's just like that, all that shit. It's just me and Allie, who you met. And, and you guys had all those tour dates and shit.
Man, we had a bunch of crazy shit lined up. The weekend that the quarantine happened, we had 3 shows that were all going to be insane. And then we had the tour, that was also going to be insane.
Where was the tour supposed to go?
We were just doing 2 weeks up to as far as Bellingham, Washington, which is right before the border. Luke lost his passport, so we couldn't cross the border this time. But yeah, we were gonna spend 2 weeks going to Bellingham. We were supposed to play 420 in a cave in the Bay Area.
Nice.
Yeah. And like everybody like on the event page was like, I'm bringing 100 joints. I was like, oh, this is gonna be the best 420 I've ever had in the cave. I play a show, so yeah, that sucks. But like, whatever, you know. Lots of people are hit with a lot of shit that sucks way harder than not being able to get stoned and play in a cave on 420.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like right before this happened, Allie got this acting gig out in New York City, and they called.
Wow.
And they canceled, and they're just like, yeah, like we like, and this is before we even caught wind of this being like, this was maybe like a week or two before they shut everything down, and she was super bummed. Here. And yeah, I just remember having a talk with her. I'm like, I think some way worse shit is gonna happen than you losing this gig. I think a lot, like, I think this is gonna fuck up, because I remember reading something online. Just in passing, you know, because I'm always online scrolling shit. And I read this headline, and it said, prepare for your lives to be affected by coronavirus. And I was like, and I just remember reading that and just being like, you know, because I don't know. I don't really watch the news. I'm in my own little bubble. I'm like working on my own shit. So I don't honestly, I don't pay attention to too much world events, because it gives me anxiety, you know? Because if you focus on all the terrible shit that's happening in the world, it just makes me feel sad and depressed, and I don't want to get out of bed. So I really had no idea what was going on in Italy and in France and in fucking China. Like I knew it was bad, but I didn't really realize the scope of it, and I didn't realize that once it hit here, how unprepared we would be. So when it hit, I went full blown like, fucking, this is the end of the world. Like I remember I was on tour with Guttermouth with my band Downtown Brown, and I remember I remember I was like, maybe I forget what city I was in. I was like 3.5 hours north of LA, and I went into a Walmart, and it was just like I started panicking immediately as soon as I went in there. Everyone was just like freaking the fuck out and like trying to grab all the water and all the food. And this was the day they decided to shut down all the bars and everything else. So we played a winery on the 15th with Guttermouth, and Mark, the lead singer, was like, had his tongue in some girl's mouth, and they were pouring wine all over each other, and people were moshing and shit. But everyone already knew that this shit was happening, but they just were like pretending like it wasn't happening. And the next day they shut down all wineries. They shut down fucking all the restaurants. They like did half capacity, and then the next day they literally shut everything down. So
yeah, that'd be trippy to be on the road while all this is going on. I was just chilling at me and my chick's house, and like during that week we weren't really doing much besides walking over to our friend's house across the street and hanging out at our friend's house, and then you know, chilling at home, and like buy everything that we bought as far as necessities was like from the gas station or liquor store right across the street. And I was hearing like, oh, people are fighting over toilet paper, and I went to the gas station near the liquor store to buy toilet paper, and it was fine. And I was like, oh, this isn't going to be that bad. And then like the next day, the vibe kept getting gnarlier and gnarlier. Like every day you were like, the next day you're like, oh fuck, this is happening. Yeah, it's definitely the gnarliest thing that's ever happened in like my lifetime. I guess generations go through like wars, and other generations have certain shit. Like fuck, dude, the whole world is bored right now because of this fucking shit.
Yeah, and a lot of people are dying too. And it's weird because I talk to people that are older than me. I'm 39, and I've talked to people in their 40s and 50s, and they're just like, I've never seen anything like this. We played a gig at the Viper Room, and Monkey from the Addicts came out to the gig, and I was talking to him, and he's like, this is fucking crazy. And that was before everything hit. Like the biggest thing that freaked me out, like I started getting super anxious, is when they canceled the fucking NBA. I was just like,
Oh,
I was like, dude, like,
yeah.
you know how much money that makes? I mean, this shit must be really fucking real.
Yeah. I found out about that because like I also got bummed. I don't know, like somehow through this Denny's shit, I got asked to. I got hit up by this like what's the name? This fashion company that's like big as shit. That like is based out of like Paris, and they wanted to
nice.
like, fly me out and pay me like a couple G's to all expenses paid to Paris to like wear some of their clothes and take pictures. And I'm currently so strapped for money after my van crash without insurance. So I was ready to like whore myself out. And so this like, you know, offer was great. So I went to go meet them the day before the coronavirus shit, the quarantine happened. And like, they like, I don't know, like took pictures of me or whatever. And I just talked to the lady. And I was like, yeah, I think tour is going to be, I don't know. It was like, I think my tour is going to be canceled. And she was like, the fuck? Are you kidding me? Like the NBA is canceled. Like, of course your tour is canceled. And I was like, the NBA is canceled? She was like, dude, everything is canceled. And on the way home, I listened to NPR. And then that's when it hit me. I was like, all these smart fucking people on NPR were talking about it. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, they can't.
Yeah,
like,
well, I was going to say, needless to say, is that, you know, I haven't heard back from them. I was supposed to fly out to Paris. And, you know, of course, you know, their little fashion thing has probably taken a halt.
Yeah.
As well as everything else in the world.
Yeah. It's going to be a minute, you know, and then for the first couple weeks or whatever, we were in quarantine. I would get up and I would like watch the news and I would like look at all the bullshit Donald Trump was saying. And it just got to the point where I had to make a decision to distance myself from that and start getting involved in doing other shit. So I'm like, okay. And I saw a lot of people, they're like playing their guitars and trying to do like this live streaming shit, but it was just everyone on an acoustic, like on their fucking phone, and it sounded like shit. And I mean, I'm not trying to knock the hustle, but I'm just like, okay, I want to do this, but I want to do it. I want to do it like how it's supposed to be done. So I kind of took a nosedive into trying to like do the Twitch streaming shit with music and through Logic and all that stuff. So that's all I've been doing is pretty much learning. Smart. Yeah, learning how to do, and it's cool because I've actually been able to like pay some of my bills with it, which is tight. but it, man, but I tell you, like, that all we can do is stay occupied because we're not in fucking control. Like we're like little ants, and they're telling us to stay in our ant hole. And if we fuck up, like we could kill someone or get killed ourselves. It's fucking scary. Go ahead. I can talk forever.
No, I was gonna say, it's intense, and like I was like my aunt, well, my grandma's brother's wife. She's my aunt. She was a sweet lady. I haven't seen her in years though. She died of coronavirus a week ago, and then my dad calls me and last night, and he's like, "Yo, you need to call your grandma right now because her brother, who was married to my aunt by marriage, my grandma's brother died from a fucking broken heart. He was 88 years old, and his wife, you know, died, and he had a fucking heart attack, like just like crying about it. You know? So,
that
like,
shit's real.
That's what I'm saying. It's definitely real as fuck in my eyes, you know.
Especially with older couples, a lot of times one of them will pass away, and very shortly after that, the other one just is like, "What the fuck what's the point of being alive?" And they just they die they just die from missing their partner. Yeah, it's that's
literally death from a broken heart. It's crazy.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man. It's fuck.
Yeah, I mean, they were parts of my family I haven't seen in a while. Like they live in Vegas. They lived in Vegas for a while now. But I do remember them being like, you know, some of the more cooler parts of my family. And I called my grandma yesterday, and I never had like the kind of, you know, real sweet moment with my grandma, or even just like really called her and shot the shit with her. She's like, so like I'm half Filipino, so all my dad's side of the family, they're all immigrants from the Philippines. So my dad is born in the Philippines, but then like, so he's pretty Americanized because he moved to Hollywood when he was like 7, but like my grandparents are like super Filipino. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of maybe a cultural barrier, maybe to some degree, growing up like that with her. So I never had, a real sweet moment with my grandma, and I had that last night.
That's wonderful. Yeah, dude, I had my whole life with my grandma on my dad's side of the family, and she was not nice, so we didn't have one sweet moment,
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah. So
the thing is, my grandma was not. I got hated my grandma growing up, but they're just Filipino, and they treat their like little kids differently. I was just like not having it, so like, I'm just glad I'm in a mental space where I didn't hold grudges against like a lot of my family members for the fucked up weird shit they did and treated me, and we're all good now.
I definitely had a grudge for the longest time with my dad, and then after he died, I'm like, fuck, like we can't fix it now, So it's it's good. It's good to not hold on to resentment, especially like if it was a long time ago, man. Time changes everything, and this is gonna make a lot of people think differently. I think it's gonna give people new perspective about what really matters. Because like as soon as this shit hit, all I thought about is my mom. My mom is a lifelong smoker. She's got lung issues. She's had multiple brain surgeries, and she's in Michigan. She's in Dearborn, which is right next to Detroit. And all I thought about is like, I got to drive to Michigan and I got to make sure she doesn't leave the house. But she's been real cool. She hasn't left the house at all. Like she's getting her groceries delivered. My brother's like dropped off a carton of cigarettes for her and shit. So
good for her.
So she's posting up. Like it sucks that it's one of those things where she's been smoking for so long and it's such an intense addiction. Even when she got her brain surgery was like, listen, like she'll live longer if she doesn't smoke cigarettes. And this is a brain surgeon. He says, I don't think she's ever gonna quit. I don't think she can. Is what a fucking brain surgeon told me. He took me aside to tell me that in the hospital.
How old's your mom?
71.
So my great grandma lived to be 93, and she smoked cigarettes fucking all day, every day since she was 12 years old in the Philippines. And she smoked them shotgun. Like
filterless?
No, you light the smoke and then you flip it around and then you put the fire in your mouth.
No way.
Yeah, that's how and that was really like growing up. That's how I saw smoking for like the longest time until like I saw, I guess, other people smoking. Yeah. She did it like that. And I always wondered, I was like, dude, is that the secret? She had her mind the whole time too. Like I was like, is that the secret? But maybe, I don't know. She didn't drink, I don't think. Maybe that's the secret.
It's tough to say. It's tough to say because there's like fucking like ultra marathon runners that are
drink whiskey.
Well, there's motherfuckers that are like the healthiest people on the fucking planet, and they'll just like keel over and die of a heart attack just because of genetics,
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom has her sister's like in a home because she is an alcoholic and she like fried her brain with booze, so she's kind of off. And but she's been smoking cigarettes. She's like 7 years older than my mom, and she still smokes, and she's kind of sharp as a tack, and she continues to live. She's like an anomaly. So yeah,
every body is different, I guess.
Yeah, it's tough to say because there are motherfuckers that do. I mean, look at fucking Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy drank a fifth of Jack Daniels a night and smoked a fucking 2 packs of Marlboro Reds, and he lived to be like almost 80.
Yeah, and and I think a good comparison is the Ozzy versus Dio thing. Like Ozzy is still alive. Dio was like kind of a health nut and like only ate like fish and veggies and shit. And
Yeah.
Ozzy somehow, it's that satanic deal he made.
Something, man. It makes me wonder if I should start fucking boozing and smoking again. But the biggest problem with that is the anxiety and the depression I get when it's not when I'm drunk, because when I'm drunk I'm like all bubbly and fucking, you know, trying to fucking wrestle strangers, and I'm just like I'm really loud and stupid, falling downstairs, having a good old time, you know. But when I wake up that next day, I like think I'm gonna die. I like feel my heart beating real loud. I get like panic attacks. I like cry by myself. You know, it's a vicious cycle. And
maybe drinking again isn't a good idea.
No, not for me. but I miss it, man.
Yeah.
I miss having like zero inhibitions, because when you're straight, like, and even when I'm stoned, I'm like so aware of things. I'm just like, what's this? You know, like, what if I do this, or what if I say this? And then I'm like, every word that comes out of my mouth, I'm thinking too much about it. And the cool part about alcohol is it just like, just flows out of you like diarrhea, you know?
Well, maybe you should try smoking CBD weed, dude. I've seen it do wonders on people that describe similar symptoms to what you're describing.
I got some of the tincture right here.
Oh, okay. Well, how does that work for you?
I don't even notice it, honestly. I take it. People say CBD is good for pain. I got all types of like back and neck issues because I was in this like crazy car.
Okay.
I was in this car accident. I think I told you about it when we flipped the van.
Oh yeah, you talked. Oh my God, and you taught us how to load how to tighten a load fastener.
load stabilizer. What's funny is I saw someone write that like in one of your Instagram posts, and I'm just like, they listened to me.
Really? Somebody mentioned the fastening the load.
No,
stabilizer?
you guys did. You guys mentioned.
Oh yeah. Well, because it was funny because like Luke has he has what I learned after Denny's shit and all these people are trying to like interview us. He has what he calls a red dot syndrome, where like he gets really nervous, which is so unlike Luke in any situation.
Yeah.
When somebody he doesn't know, and it doesn't matter if they're cool or not. I think he just starts to really think like, what should I say? What should I say? But like every time I have a camera and I'm pointing it at Luke, he's just like saying the most insane, craziest shit.
Yeah.
So he told us about his red dot syndrome after your interview, and I was just laughing because he didn't say like one word the whole time, and then we had to go play the show, and then he's like, "Any last questions?" And Luke is like, "Yes. Can you tell us again how to tighten a load fastener?"
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? and then I feel bad because we all laughed at him at that being the one thing he says, and then we kind of had to go. So we didn't. You told him real quick how to tighten the load fastener, and then we left. But what he told me later is that he asked you that because your answer before, he remembered it and he felt like it had a nice like life metaphor in it, like how you described tightening a load fastener. He liked it and wanted you to tell him again so that he could then say his metaphor about why that is so beautiful. And I felt so bad because like I was like, oh, I didn't let you complete your I don't know. I can't even, he says the craziest, most like real shit like to me. I can't remember all of it, but I was like, damn, I didn't allow you to have this like beautiful moment with Neil. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
I laughed too hard.
Yeah, it was new. You know, we were new. We just met.
We were new.
But I've interviewed a lot of people now, and what was cool about talking to WACKO is that I just felt like I was talking to homies that, you know, from Detroit or something, because all the shit that that you guys are doing with like like smashing fucking shopping carts and it's all shit. We used to fucking steal tables. There was this when 9/11 happened. There was this fucking, how sometimes like a little pop-up shop will like selling weird t-shirts will like pop up out of nowhere when there's some sort of weird shit going on in the world.
Oh yeah, and they sell 9/11 t-shirts.
They sold all of this like kill Osama bin Laden and Calvin pissing on fucking Arabic people, and it was very right. But this was in Michigan, so there's a lot of right wingers in Michigan, a lot of rednecks. I don't know if you saw them fucking marching on the Capitol with all. They did the same thing in Michigan that they did in Huntington Beach, and it's really embarrassing. But so there's this. They put this pop up right by where the house we used to throw all the parties at, and they had all these tables, and we fucking stole every single one of those tables, and we took them back to the house so we could use them for our wrestling matches.
Oh, sick.
and it's just. I don't know. It's just that's the type of shit when I first started my band and we were just like doing all this crazy shit and like. We used to like launch cheeseburgers into the audience, and they used to hit kids in the face, and the kids would just like eat the cheeseburgers off the ground. And, So when I like was talking to WACKO, I was just like, you guys like ICP, like fuck, man. It's I thought it just was very natural because I'm like they're like me. A bunch of fucking weirdos doing weird shit.
No, it was definitely like the kind of vibe, recognizing the vibe, recognize the real thing, because we had done, that was 1 week after Denny's, and we had all done like our own and together like interviews with like different people, and it all felt weird. Like it all was like we got ready, like it wasn't like at a show or anything. It was like we all had to like meet up, not for practice, not for a show, not to hang out, but to like do an interview thing with like the news station. So it was all kind of like, it had this vibe around it about it kind of being this like, weird thing. We had to get ready to talk to somebody. But with you, not only were you like by far like the coolest person that had interviewed us, we like did it at a show. Like we showed up and we were already like pumped. We were all together for some shit. We're like, we're going to go talk to this guy. And then it turns out he was like way cooler than all the fucking other weirdos that interviewed us. Only you and then a girl interviewed us after our set. Besides that, those are the only two interviews that I felt like we were comfortable enough to like speak our minds and shit.
Yeah, it was great. I had so much fun, and it's just, kicking it in a van. Like we're the same. I mean, I'm a guy that likes saying dumb shit into a microphone, and fucking I want it to pop off, and I want to make people laugh and dance, and I want everyone to love each other. When you were saying this, it's like what you were saying about everyone in the audience is just loving each other, whether it looks violent or not. It's like that's what most fucking normies don't understand about a band as intense as WACKO is. It's all love. Like all those kids fucking love each other, and they love you, and you're part of it. It isn't like you play and then you go hide. I've toured with bands that they play and they go hide in their fucking van. And they don't talk to anyone. Like, and it's like what Luke's dad was saying. You're all in the pit for every single band. You're giving, and that's one of the main things I miss about this quarantine shit is the only person I could hug is my girlfriend, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm not downplaying that, but I like getting fucking sweaty. Like, when you go to a big show and it starts and everyone pushes forward and literally you're like, your balls are like up against, they're like being crushed up against someone's ass in front of you.
And it's completely normal,
And you just wait till people calm down and the pit opens up a little bit. That's how I grew up. That's where I live. That's like,
I mean, it's funny. Imagine like pressing your balls up against that hard. There's some like accidentally, having your balls up against some dude or girl's ass in a different situation
at a bank or something
on purpose. Yeah, like if you got bumped and all of a sudden you like did that, it would be fucking weird. But like in these moments, it's like people have already let go of like all the normal shit. It's like time for it's time to like feel shit now, you know?
I remember, cause you know I'm 5'10". I've always been over 200 pounds. Like I've always been. I'm not super tall, but I'm a big guy. So I always remember like in '96 when I first saw Bad Religion, and I'm smushed up against some girl, and she turns and she just looks at me, and I'm just like, hi, you know, just a little innocent hi. It's like my every part of my body is literally touching you right now. But it's just like, what am I supposed to do? Everyone is pushing, like there's 400 people pushing forward because they just started their first song. It's just, and you know, if you go to shows, you're just like, whatever, you know, passing beers around and just drinking other people's beers, smoking other people's joints. It's like, my question is that ever going to fucking happen again? Like
I don't know. I was wondering that too. People are going to start having mosh pits where they stay 6 feet away from everybody at all.
How?
I don't know, but it would be really funny to watch watch people try to do that. That'd be awesome.
Dude, the night they shut down the NBA, we were opening up for Guttermouth, and this dude was trying to get a pit going, and literally everyone was just standing there like, fuck this guy, because no one wanted to touch each other. Everyone was just like, no, we're just gonna stand and watch this shit. They stood for Guttermouth too. No one pitted. Everyone was fucking afraid. Like most of the people didn't even know why they were there. They're just like, well, I guess I bought a ticket. I guess I should go. But but I just thought it was funny. There's one drunk dude. He's like trying to pit, and I'm just like, I pointed at him. I'm just like, everyone give it up for that guy. And everyone's like, yeah. But man, I miss eating food off the floor. I miss like touching everything and not washing my hands. Like I'm a dirty guy. Like I fucking now I'm like afraid to touch anything, breathe air. It's like I want to be a scumbag again, dude. This sucks.
No, I feel you. I'm in the same boat as you. Like I actually told my girlfriend that today. Like give her a hug, and I was like, you're the only person I've hugged in like, it feels like, dude, we've only been in quarantine for what? We're going on 2 months. It feels like we've been in quarantine for so fucking long.
Forever.
I'm like, and I had this thing. So we had a little social distancing get together, which maybe, you know, if you ever feel up for it, if you feel like you need to get out of the house, you can come to one of these at our friend's house. We don't go inside the house. The members of the house have a stoop, and they sit on the stoop. And then we are on the other side of the sidewalk, and we just crack beers and shoot the shit and all stay 6 feet away from our respected house groups. And so we did that. We did that the other day. I was gonna say you're more than welcome to come to them if you ever need that. But every single person that I haven't seen, like
you can't hug them.
Yeah, and that's how so I mean we're all in. I mean, I was going to say in Long Beach, but maybe it's not even that. It's like our kind of extended musical circle of like friends. We're very like huggy, touchy people, especially Luke. Luke will plant like kisses on people. And they're like, whoa. So right off the bat, that's how we always greet each other, with like a big ass hug, let alone if we haven't seen each other in over a week, you know, and now it's even gnarlier. So now every time I see one of my friends, it's like it instantly starts off on this like blue balls kind of awkward moment, because really what should happen is we should fucking hold each other, hug each other. And then it's like, all right, we did that. Now we can hang. But now it's like, we're like, oh shit. And then it's like, we kind of have like small talk. And I'm like, fuck, dude. All we got to do is just like, the hug is like the orgasm. Just get it out of the way, and then we can like with each other.
And I mean, and you can roll the dice and do it, but if you're,
it happens sometimes.
But if you care, you kind of shouldn't, you know.
Yeah.
Well, and so my girlfriend had her friend, and they had a socially distanced picnic and bike ride where they stayed far away from each other the whole time. But there's nowhere to piss, so she's like, I got to use your bathroom. And it's like, so she came into our house, which we haven't had anyone in. And you know, I'm this paranoid, like fucking, I'm in the corner. I'm like, don't let her in the house. She's got to pee. What are we supposed to do? I'm like, don't let her pee. I'm like, You better spray that shit with Lysol. And she's nice. You know, I went to her wedding. She's a nice person. And I'm just like, get her the fuck out of here. You know, because that's how afraid I am, dude. I'm just like,
Good for you, dude. I mean, like, we all kind of need, like, the people that are extra about it, you know? Not even necessarily we all, but there are people need to see people, like, taking this shit seriously to the point where you're like, dude, I don't feel comfortable about you peeing in my house right now, like, for the sake of the world right now.
Yeah, but she had nowhere else to go, so I just had to, you know.
Look, good for you for tripping, and good for you for letting her pee.
Well, I wrote her a message, and I'm like, hey, sorry I flipped out and freaked the fuck out, but it's like, this is our safe spot where no one comes in and no one leaves but us, and you like hang out with Allie and you got to take a piss. It's like, there's no public fucking restrooms anymore. It's not like you can just. I don't know. I heard somewhere that they were gonna open up some beaches in California. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, I don't hear about shit.
People, yeah, me neither. I stopped looking. Every now and then, I talk to people. And I listen. I have a mindset too about everything, because I mean, I'm already the most paranoid guy. I know. I think I know. Like, and I keep my paranoias and my mental psychic conspiracies to a level where I'm like, okay, I still need to be able to go fucking cook food, take shit, and talk to people. So, because I've had friends that, like, drive themselves into isolation because of their paranoia of the true nature of the world that they perceive. I just always try to maintain a mindset of, like, believing in nothing and, like, entertaining everything to some degree, and holding my own belief system in extreme suspicion. So I kind of, with something as real and as intense as coronavirus, like, I don't know, I just kind of, like, a lot of people, okay, I'll just say it like this, like, I'm kind of speaking cryptically, but a lot of people were freaking out. And then I even knew somebody who was, like, saying, like, no, this is all fucking government bullshit. If this shit was real, this is before the quarantine. The quarantine. Like, when they were, like, canceling shows before they were making everybody stay inside, before they were closing bars. This guy was, like, he's a promoter. He was saying he was gonna, he, like, made all these posts, like, contact me if you had your show fall through because of coronavirus. I will make your show happen. And he was taking on all these shows. And I just remember looking at that, like, damn, dude. I mean, like, okay, let's say you think that people are overreacting. Like, something like this, let's just say that's your mindset. Something like this, it's not worth it at all to risk it and to like fully believe yourself and be like, oh yeah, people are, like, overreacting, like, nobody's gonna die. Like, no, people are dying, and people are dying because they're sad that people are dying from coronavirus. And, like, to even take it to the next level to where you're gonna take on other people's shows, I'm like, you're going too far, dude. and then the quarantine happened, and then he made a flip. He called me, like, and he was like, Long Beach is about to close down. I just want to warn you, brother. I was like,
yeah, a lot of people waited till it got really bad before they made the flip. And it makes sense. But, you know, there's a part of me, because I'm paranoid as fuck too, that I'm just like, okay, is this them instilling the NWO, like the New World Order? Are they just fucking implementing control on us? Is this just did the government cook this up? Like, I've you know, I think about all this shit, but then, you know, people on my Facebook timeline started being like, my dad died last night.
Yeah.
And my brother works my brother works in a hospital. It doesn't even matter, you know? Yeah.
It doesn't matter, like, how. It just matters that it's happening right now, and people are fucking dying. So, like, I mean, talk all the shit you want, but, like, don't fucking go outside and be an asshole. Like, I mean, I even have this, like, I don't know. I don't want to blast all my crazy conspiracy things. I always keep saying like, oh, I don't believe in anything, but I entertain everything. But
yeah, I'm the same way.
You see that guy in the NBA? He was on the he was like doing some sort of panel. I'm assuming that it was when they were talking about canceling the NBA. He was like, y'all are tripping, y'all are overreacting, and then he went and touched every microphone. He was an NBA player. You didn't hear about this?
Oh, he got it.
And then he got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he got it.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, like I don't know. I'm not even gonna talk more. Fact remains is that the shit is really killing people. So like,
yeah.
Fucking stay in your house. Like, do what you got to do, but don't fucking try to be like the renegade coronavirus party. Don't be a fucking idiot, dude.
Yeah, you're just gonna make yourself look like an asshole, and it's so it's so fitting that the people that want the haircuts, they're all wearing red hats. It's just
dude, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and it's like the one time us like I don't even like to use like labels, even like conservative or liberal. I don't know what I feel like people call me liberal. I don't even like to use terminology like that, because at the state of the world, if there's any bit of terminology, it's like ignorant asshole versus like somebody who just wants to make the world a better place for everybody.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I'll use these terms right now. It's funny that like the people who are mad are these conservative MAGA hat wearing people, and the people who are like obeying the law that I know are these like punks and shit that like typically wouldn't obey the law. and it's really funny to see this like protest be like the switch. It's like, okay, for the first time, these like whatever socially aware people, they're not out trying to, people aren't protesting right now to make, awareness of, fucking genocide or fucking real social problems. It's like now all those people are smart enough to stay home, and all the people who fucking make fun of these people for trying to make social change for the betterment of society, now they're out protesting because they're mad that they can't get a haircut and go to the movie.
It's the weirdest flip I've ever witnessed when everyone that hates authority is fucking listening to authority and the ones that have told us for so many years that we need to just listen to authority, they're the ones fucking breaking the rules. It's like, come the fuck on. You look fucking stupid. And
it's ridiculous, but
yeah, and it's embarrassing because I'm from Michigan, and that's the people in Michigan were the first people to fucking do that fucking protest shit. And I'm just
apparently there's going to be one in Long Beach.
Are you for serious?
Oh, yeah. For a second, I forgot you also live in Long Beach right now.
Yeah.
My friend Lindsay sent me this post, and it was like, it's supposed to happen on Ocean. And then I read it like at night when I was like editing music, and I was like, I mentioned it to my girlfriend. And then like the next day when I thought about it, I texted her and I was like, what's up with that protest? And then she said that she got blocked from the page. It was some like either aspiring political person in Long Beach, or he already holds some sort of political city seat.
Right.
And he's Hispanic, and his whole thing is he's like, I think his Instagram name was like right-wing Hispanic or something like that. So his whole thing, like I went on the Instagram one time and it was all like like weird, funny, but like totally sad memes about like somehow like being Mexican, being far right, and also not believing coronavirus is real. It's like memes that he has created that involve all three of these shitty aspects of, well, not the Mexican, but the coronavirus and being far right.
It's just so weird that you could be a Trump supporter and be a Mexican American. Like that just makes no sense to me.
Like, it's an anomaly, but you know how I think about it, dude. Like, I mean, it's so funny. Like, people, man, the information age is here. People don't have to think long to become aware that, like, we're all aware of the terrors of the world happening. Like, and like at the same time, it's like you hear these stories, and then whether it's human drama or political drama or psychological operatives making you forget and just watch the football game, you forget that that every single fucking politician is like a lying fucking crook. And you forget that like politicians, as far as we've known politicians, just say what they have to say to get to where they think they can get. Whether that means that they're like, all right, I'm an aspiring politician. Like they're just finding their niches, where there's a group of people so they can say whatever. And it's like, these people are like, oh my God, here's a politician saying what I want to hear. Like, finally, for once, I got to support this guy. But it's like, you forget that this guy deserves to be inside of a trash can with everybody.
They're all not on the good side. I remember in 2008, I was very moved by Obama's public speaking, and I was like, yeah, I was like, in 2008, I was Team Obama, but that was before I started dating someone that was involved in like the Occupy movement, and I kind of like my eyes opened a little bit later as to how supremely corrupt even Obama is. They all are. I mean, every one of them since fucking are. Yeah. So
and the Bernie thing is like at the very least a modern cultural phenomenon for people like me and you and the younger generation. Like the shit he says, I'm like, cause dude, I'm like a fucking burn it all down and start over like in caves using our like futuristic technology. I'm that kind of guy. Either that or wait for the fucking comet to hit Earth so we can all die already. So because like I'm like, we're all even like people that that you care about, that like care about the world, and they have these trying to go through the political system. Like I guess I'm at this mental crossroad where I'm more one way, where like people are like, we got to work within the system to change things, and I'm like, dude, I mean, like, remember history? Like, all this shit is fake. Like, we're all fucking cattle right now, and so like, I don't necessarily have too many answers. Like, this is what we need to do. Like, I know what the fuck is like not right, but for the first time ever, you have a political candidate who's like, he's going out and he's like, if I'm president, I will give reparations to black people. If I'm president, I'm making all drugs legal. If I'm president, I'm destroying the industrial prison complex. And you're like, that's all great shit. But like everything I've known has been like just everything that, a niche group of people want to hear so somebody can get elected into office. That being said, I saw the Bernie shit and I went and voted for like the first time in my life was when I voted for Bernie 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Cause I reached the point where like, I've been this fucking anti-modern establishment. Like, I mean, fight the power, stick it to the man. Like that comes first. But, I almost felt like, if I don't vote for this guy who's going to get my fucking reparations and do all these things that seem to be like, yeah, the problem with the world and specifically America, then like, it's almost the same as like not believing coronavirus is real and going outside. No, it's safer to just fucking stay inside. Yeah. Just like it was like, all right, like I'll vote for this guy if he's going to do this. But like my skepticisms and my, again, entertain everything, believe in nothing. And so that's where, I don't know how we got into that.
I feel like the most telling thing about Bernie and what makes me think he's legit is seeing like the footage of him when he was a young man, like being arrested when he was like protesting shit. Like he seems like he's really sincere about wanting to make the world a better place. It's just people would rather vote for that fucking molester Biden. Like my mom is like, my mom refers to Joe Biden as her Joe. And I'm just like. Yeah.
If you type in creepy Joe compilation, compilations of Joe Biden, like,
yeah, it's
like,
and I told my mom, I'm like, that dude is a touchy-feely fucking creep. And on top of it, he's got like onset Alzheimer's. Like he can't even formulate a sentence. Like Trump is going to eat that dude alive. I know I'm like paraphrasing Joe Rogan right now, but it's true.
Yeah, no, that Biden fool is definitely a part of some fucking Jeffrey Epstein worldwide child pedophilia circuit.
It's uncomfortable. It's a total shit show, and I'm kind of like glad I'm in my weird little cave trying to make my own stupid TV show in my bedroom.
It's a crazy fucking time. You got politicians saying they're gonna fucking do all the shit to make the world better, give us fucking free healthcare. Like somehow the psychological operatives are so strong. A decent amount of America thinks these ideas that will make the world better are bad, and to instead support these money men, like, oh, we gotta follow the money man because they have a lot of money. They have money. They can help us have money. Like we're like one of the richest fucking countries in the world, and all of us are so fucking poor. Like all of us can't do shit. We're so fucking poor, and we are able through whatever, maybe Instagram filters or just, human drama and like a whole lot of convince ourselves that we're not like ready to just go under at any moment. Like if we're like fucking hit by a car, like which can happen at any moment, we break our leg. It's like that could like end you financially for the next like 45 years, And we all pretend like none of that shit's happening because it's like, some heavy ass shit. And it doesn't seem like there's, a near escape anytime soon.
Well, and I tell you what, a lot of motherfuckers will be like, my tax dollars go to pay for this, that, and the other thing, and social services. But have you ever seen the pie chart? Dude, have you ever seen the pie?
It's insane.
Have you ever seen the pie chart of how much they spend on social services compared to defense?
Oh my God, it's insane. And people don't realize that. People are complaining about like people on EBT and harm risk like things for like drug addicts, so they're not like dying all the time. People complain like, oh, my tax dollars are going to that. It's like
it's tiny. It's the tiny piece of the pie. And I tell you what, man, if I wasn't on Medicaid when this fucking hernia and my belly button popped out, I would be like $100,000 in debt right now. You know what I mean? Like that shit fucking helps people. I'm not lazy. I work really hard. I just decided to be a fucking dirtbag artist, so I can't make any fucking money, Like
the world isn't made for dirtbag artists.
Like not really, but that's the thing is it's such a small percentage of the fucking pie goes to these social services that literally save people's lives and keep them from like being in debt to a hospital for the rest of their lives, I don't know.
The military industrial complex is a very real thing that I'm seeing. I was born into the constant set of fear. Like there's always an enemy. There's always like enough people through, whatever events we perceive as true shown to us on the media. There's always been enough people to support like some sort of enemy, enough to keep the fucking machine of war like going.
Our whole lives. I remember after 9/11 happened, my brother joined the army and he was over in Iraq, and this was back when there wasn't a whole lot of Wi-Fi technology. It wasn't, so you would get a phone call on a fucking landline from some satellite shit, and there would be a delay. And I remember talking to my brother, and he was over in the desert. He signed up for the army right after 9/11 because he thought he was like doing a good thing. He was a kid. He was like 19. He was like 18. He thought he was going after the bad guy, And I'm talking to him on the phone with this weird delay, this crackly delay. And he says to me, and I'll never forget this. He said, Neil, I don't think we're the good guys, And I just remember like my heart broke because it's like, I tried to fucking tell you that. Like our dad tried to tell him that. We were, he just was a dumb fucking kid. And you signed this contract, and next thing you know, you're being sent to fucking kill innocent people and possibly get killed yourself. and it's just fucking gross and sad and heavy. And I know we're supposed to just, be kicking it right now and having a conversation, but yeah, it's the world.
No, we're going past the topic of small talk. Now we're talking about real shit.
It's fucking. There's so much sadness in the world, and yeah, that's why I'm glad you got a computer, man, because we have to try to concentrate on something that it can at least alleviate the stress of knowing how terrible everything is,
Mm-hmm.
And that's why music is such a wonderful thing in live shows, because when you're playing or when you're watching a performer that you really like, all that shit goes away,
for that whole time, whether it's like a 30-minute set, you're in there feeling it with your nuts on the butt, like nothing fucking matters. Yeah, it is like a great release. I was, lurking on the little fucking WACKO Denny's YouTube comments the other day, all fucking bored of my quarantine, and I saw a bunch of like people like, I'll never understand that mosh pit thing. Like the band sounds cool, but I'll just never understand why you'd want to do that. And I'm like, that's understandable why you wouldn't necessarily think that you want a body being thrown into you, but goddamn, like you might be the person that needs a body thrown into you the most out of all of us.
I think I need like to take myself back to when I first did it, and it's like something I didn't know how it felt, but I don't know if I would be the same person if I never felt it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that person doesn't get it because they never had that catharsis of just losing their mind and sweating all over strangers and like and falling down and getting stepped on and getting kicked in the head, but getting pulled back up and some stranger singing the lyrics like in your ear. That's
weird shit to a lot of people.
it's like what makes life worth living. And like
I agree. I think a lot of people are that play the kind of shit we do.
I don't pit much anymore though, because I'm like my body's all broken. I have all these bulging discs in my back and neck issues, and fucking I got knee problems. I'm just falling apart. But you
gotta figure out your dance move that doesn't hurt you.
It's like I just stand on the outside and stand on the outside of the pit and just push people and flex. That's how I roll.
Yeah, that's Luke. If Luke sees you do that, he'll like, oh my god. See, Luke, honestly, I need that fucking energy in my life, because Luke, I was like that. See that?
I'm joking, by the way.
Well, no, you got to start off. Not you got to, but it's so much easier to start off on like maybe a mosh pit scenario when you're young, because when you're young, your inhibitions are less, and you're like, if you're young as fuck and you find yourself out of place where like some real punk shit is happening in a mosh pit, your inhibitions are less about like, what kind of people think about you, and you kind of get used to it. And then if you grow up, you kind of get used to it. But then eventually, a lot of the people you knew that were into punk shit stop, and you're still into it. But now you're older. Now let's say, I'm like 21. From maybe like 21 until like is when I like really I've noticed I was like, oh, I'm not moshing anymore. I really enjoyed climbing on shit and like stage diving really high. And then I'd get in the pit and I'd just like get out of the pit. Like all I wanted to do was like jump on people. then like Luke moved to Long Beach and I just started hanging out with him a bunch more, and like just watching him act like that for literally any kind of music. Like if you take Luke to any kind of show, he will either mosh, or like if it's not a kind of music that like people mosh to, he will dance, but he'll get like right up on you, like and like feel himself like touching random people, and they're not into it, but like looking at that all the time in front of you, will inspire you to like fucking start moving too. You know, that's the thing is like the mosh pit usually, how many shows are you at where like you play a song, everybody's standing still, you play another song, everybody's standing still, and then like play another song, and then like one jerk off starts moshing, and then everybody starts moshing. And it only takes that like one jerk off to start moshing. Like Luke is that jerk off.
That's wonderful.
In every situation, yeah, and it's like it's really inspiring, and I tell him this all the time. Like, I'm so grateful for that kind of energy, and it's almost I've even seen it kind of like start to become a crutch, not a crutch, but like, damn, I could really use some fucking Luke right now, like, you know. So I always call him my crystal ball. He's like, I don't know, but yeah, that shit'll keep you young if you can like stay in the pit. But now, see, how old did you say you were? You're 39?
39, bro. I can't even believe it, man. Like I was just looking at some
you
photos.
You got young eyes.
I was just looking at some.
You seem young.
I was I think I'm young at heart. I was just looking at some photos of this gig I did back in 2005, and I'm like, dude, that was fucking 15 years ago. And it seems just like yesterday, man. Like all that shit is very, very vivid. I have a pretty vivid memory for how much I used to drink, and I just, I can't, you know, the age thing is wild because it really sneaks up on you, and then like you're starting to, everyone you know, you're like, holy shit, I've known this person for 15, 18 years.
Yeah.
It's
But see, I mean, you must experience it too. I mean, I know you say you play in the nostalgia circuit a lot of the time, but like you
out here.
Well, you must, but you play punk music, so you must have kids at your shows, like, right? I mean, I went to go see nostalgia circuit bands like when I was younger, and there were kids like my age, and we were moshing, and you know, so
unless it's like unless it's a 21 and over show, it's like a lot.
Yeah, okay,
like,
yeah.
For example, when my band was HR from Bad Brains, we got hired to be his backing band and opener, and we played the Whiskey on the Sunset Strip, and it was just like the audience was stale because everyone in the fucking audience was like 40. Like there wasn't and we weren't doing a Bad Brains set. We were doing like mostly reggae. So it was just like everyone just went to see HR. It was beautiful being a part of that, but also like if we were to do like Pay to Come, like if we were to do a whole Bad Brains set, then it probably would bring out a lot of kids. You know?
Okay. So how long have you been? I was gonna say how old were you when you started playing music, but not even that. How
16.
old were you when you started going to punk shows?
15.
Just started going to shows.
15. Yep.
Okay, that sounds about right. That's like me too. So you're 39 and you started going to punk shows since you were 15. You must have experienced what I am currently experiencing for the first time in my life, is that switch of like, I was 15 going to punk shows, watching bands that were like 27 and up, you know, and they were like, oh my God, these bands are so fucking good. Look how good they are. Look how many shows they play. And, you know, I was like a 15-year-old kid in a sea of like other like young punks. Now I'm playing like with WACKO. It's funny. I've known pretty much a decent amount of the punks within the Orange County area and the LA area, like for so long. Like I know a shitload of people like that were my age, and now I'm playing these WACKO shows, and there's like a whole fucking other scene of 15, 16, 17, and 18-year-olds now that I don't know, that none of my friends know, because why would we? We're all like 27 and we're not hanging out with 15, 16-year-olds. And like our friends that start bands, they're not 15 and 16. So like, yeah, it's like I forgot, like, holy shit, like, and I'm looking at these kids and it's so lame, but I see myself so hard in them, and I'm like, and I see them go like super hard in the pit, and then afterwards act like really corny and punk, and like they're all like trying to get as drunk as possible, you know, and like I just remember fucking feeling like that. And I also remember like being that age and how that was like still to this day, like some of the most influential moments of my life. Like, you remember being 15 and going to your first punk show and seeing people start to go crazy and like people your age singing in bands? This is like it's like the coolest. You felt like you were like the coolest person you knew. Like you were into the most cool shit, and somehow you found yourself there. And that has shaped and I can safely say for you too, that has shaped my like future drastically. And then shit kind of gets stale. Like, even though you're still playing punk music, like to some degree, the shit, like it kind of changes, and that's normal because life fucking sucks and is hard, and you're hit with fucking real shit that 15-year-old you never had to ever think about. And then I go and play these shows, and I look at these kids, and like I remember that influence, and they tell me like the most beautiful shit. I'm always like crying on these, like hugging these like fucking 16-year-old kids, and I'm like, tears are coming down my eyes because they're telling me like how like, oh, the best fucking day of my whole life. I'm 15 years old. The best day of my whole life is when I went and saw you play this show. And I like I can through my experience attest that like that kid is speaking some truth, because I remember going up and seeing bands when I was 15 and being like, this is the greatest night of my whole fucking life, you know? And it's insane. And it's like a lot of people, like specifically, that's been my thing. Like since that's been happening, I'm like, the best, I got to keep playing to these fucking little ass kids.
Yeah.
Because that's like, you know, if I can affect somebody as gnarly as like these people affected me at that age, that's like some of the most insane shit in the world.
But it's like
then it becomes funny. Sorry.
No, it's hard on the internet, but you're like paying it forward, like all of that, all like how your life was changed. You're now in the driver's seat and you're affecting younger people's lives. It's a fucking beautiful full circle thing, man. That's all like my musical aspirations. If they've reached that point for forever, that's like all I've ever wanted. And as of lately, it's like my cup runneth over. You know, I have that and more. Like all these opportunities are kind of happening, and it's like, you know, I attest a lot of that to the kids. Like you just gotta follow them. Like everybody's like, oh, punk is dead. I look at all these comments on YouTube. They're like, I didn't know punk was still alive. Guess it's out of Denny's. And I'm like, dude, it's just because I guess, you know, you gotta, I guess, figure out how to be for the kids without being a creep. And it's funny when I'm watching these bands. I play these shows and I play with some bands, and I'm with Luke. And this band is like some heavy energy shit, and they're awesome. And I'm like in the pit, and I'm like shoving people. I'm like, oh shit, I just threw that 15-year-old kid like across the room. I gotta like remember. I'm like, I'm here going on 30, like twice these kids' age. You're a little more
dance with them.
You're a little more developed physically. You're more of a man. You're more of a man than a kid, you know.
Yeah, but then you get those big ass, scary fucking 16-year-old kids that are like the reject jocks, like the jock body, but they're too weird, so they're punk and they got like spikes. Like, I'm like scared of these kids. They're not old enough to know some shit yet, and they're big enough to fuck shit up.
Sort of on the same token, I was thinking about this. Like when my band's on tour and there's like a really young opening band where it's like their first show and they're super fucking nervous. Like a lot of times, like if you drive like 6-7 hours to get to a venue, you know, a lot of times sometimes I won't watch the openers because I'll like go and stretch, or I'll try to catch a nap in the van because I drove all day and I'm all fucked up from driving all day. But if there's like a young band that's sound checking, you can tell they're like really new, I'll always check that shit out, because to me,
good for you.
To me, that's the most exciting shit in my entire life, was playing that first show when I was like 16 years old, and I could barely like play guitar because my hands were shaking so much and I was so nervous and we were bad. Like I'll watch that 10 nights out of 10 if it's available, because that's the most that's the most raw shit, is people who are popping their cherry, like doing it for the first fucking time. And yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Sign me up, man.
I'm gonna take you to my oh shit. Yeah, I think I'll still have reception.
You might lose Wi-Fi.
Yeah, there's Wi-Fi in this building. I'm about to piss my pants, but it's fine. Watch
this. Don't get us kicked off YouTube.
Oh no, you're gonna see my dick. Wait, no, you won't.
No. Yeah, try to cover your dick, bro. There you go. That's good. I can hear it. Yes.
That is echoing pretty hard.
Flowing, flushing meadows.
This is what 3 hours of practice, a couple beers, and a big Red Bull gets you.
Yeah. It'll pinch your prostate, too. I guess if you drink a lot of Red Bull, you can get kidney stones, but that's just...
my God, I gotta stop.
I read that shit on the internet, but also I was like, for a minute there, I was drinking like 3 Monster Energy drinks a day, and I never got kidney stones, but I don't know if Red Bull's formulated differently. I don't know.
I didn't start drinking Red Bull until these past couple tours. Gabby Gartex is like Red Bull queen, and man, we just like were like supporting each other's wet Red Bull addictions on the road. Like there was one drive we did that was like 8 hours. We drank 12 Red Bulls each. that has to be the most unhealthy thing I've ever done in my whole life.
It's a world record. But yeah, I mean, it works. I don't know what they put in it, but it'll get you going. It'll get you going, and then it'll get to the point where you wake up in the morning and you need one just to get out of bed, and that's where I'm kind of at right now. I'm definitely like a super caffeine addict. But hey, I gotta eat, dude.
Okay, good. Get some food.
But yeah, hopefully when all this shit is over, we can go back to being weird and I was excited because like what I was saying about the nostalgia circuit and playing opening for all these like classic punk bands is I want to play backyard parties, man. I want to play in fucking basements. I want to, because that's where my band started. We started doing backyard wrestling parties, like, and that's where, I don't know. I haven't forgot that I was that kid, and I still want to play for those kids. And I know it exists, but I came out here and just playing for a lot of old dudes.
Old dudes that are like, punk is dead. This is what we got.
Old dudes that are like, we'll pay $20 to see HR, but complain the whole time that it's an all reggae set, even though it says it on the flyer. What
okay,
can you
wait.
do?
One of my last questions is: you recently posted a video. I don't know if my phone was glitching or if this is what it was like, but you were like, I felt like I got to jam with people, and it was like a Zoom call and a bunch of people playing music. There was no audio when I played it.
Okay.
But was there a latency problem?
No. There.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Try that out.
but this was the thing is that was some show footage from 2017. And what I do when I do my TV show is I play over YouTube videos, but there's all types of latency when you do streaming. So it's and that's the other thing too, is there's all these Zoom calls and everything, but there is a delay. So you can't like jam with someone over the internet yet. I mean, and if you can, I am not smart enough to know how to do it. But what you can do is film yourself playing over YouTube. So that's kind of what I do. It's hard, man. All this, because technology is really fucking crazy right now. Like you can do all types of amazing things, but there is a delay. There is latency. Like even in this call right now, that's why we have headphones on, is because if this mic,
just sound crazy.
Yeah, if this mic was picking up this call and then I tried to sync it later, it would have all the bleed from the call in, and it would just be a nightmare. It's a nightmare. But that's why we're fucking rocking the phones,
Yeah, dude. I got these swagged out headphones.
Nah.
But they got so much latency.
It's
okay, well,
it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect, but but I'm glad you got a computer. I'm glad you got Logic. I'm glad you're staying busy. I'm glad you're healthy. And I'm glad we could do this. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, Neil.
I'm going to eat fucking food.
Cool. Well, yeah, anytime you ever want to do this or any other idea, no matter how dumb, hit me up. I'm down. And we're fucking neighbors, dude. So if, hopefully this shit doesn't go on too much longer, but when all this shit's over, we're all going to hang out all the time.
Yeah, I remember I was having a really bad day, and you said, you live in Long Beach, we need to hang out. And I was excited because I'm like, when I get back from Guttermouth, I'm going to hang out with those dudes, and we're going to get weird, and I'm going to have fun. And then it never happened. I've been here ever since.
I know. We were so close, too. You were like almost home, and then fuck.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. We'll do these whenever you want, and if you ever feel up to gearing up in your quarantine shit and going to one of these 6 feet away sidewalk little things, hit me up.
Just shoot me a text, man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the invite because, dude, when you move across the country, it's lonely, man. It's like, because I know people in the industry, but they're more like colleagues, they're fucking acquaintances, and I have some friends but they're all either in Orange County or they're super fucking busy. It's like it's just me and
we're your perfect friends for right now, dude. You're like right down the street. We always just hang out and do dumb shit.
I like friends.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Let's hopefully get this shit. Hopefully this shit ends soon and we can do all this.
Yeah, hopefully we can hug people, man. That's why I said the other day, I'm like, I just want to hug my mom, I just want it, and my brother's like, we might not ever be able to touch her again, and I'm just like, I don't want to think like that. That makes me want to cry, dude. Like, that's my mom,
It's too gnarly. People, are about to seriously, if they're not already, appreciate just common human contact as far as touching. Even if it's like, what's up, dude? It's like the new handshake is this now. Everybody's like, oh, shit. It's like right when people are like, what's up? Oh, wait.
Yeah. You ever seen a movie called Demolition Man that has Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes in it?
Oh, shit. Yeah. But when I was like 13.
It's from the 90s, but when they do a handshake, they do this, and they don't touch hands, and then they go like this. Yeah.
That's what everybody's into. No, that's not even. My girlfriend got mad at me today because I saw somebody I haven't seen in forever when we get in my car, and he was like, "What's up, dude?" And I could tell he was really going for the high five, and then so I gave him the fake. I was like, ah, and then I turned around thinking my girlfriend was gonna be like, "Good job, Zane." And she looked at me so pissed off. She's like, that was not 6 fucking feet away. And I was like, oh, shit.
Because even when you're on a bike ride, if you don't have a mask on, and I think are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were lagging. Okay. But if you don't, I guess, let's say you're riding your bike behind someone that doesn't have a mask, their spit is in the air. If you know what I mean? So, the 6 feet and the mask, it's really important. And gloves and sanitizer, it's important. But hopefully not for much longer. Hopefully we can go back to nuts on butts,
I'm dying for nuts on butts right now.
I just need to put my nuts on someone's butt.
On some butts. On somebody I don't know's butt.
Yeah, and have them be cool with it. That's the
That's all we ever want.
It's all love. It's all rock and roll. But I'm gonna let you go, man. Hey, I appreciate this, and stay in touch and stay good, stay healthy, do all the right things.
You too, Neil. I love you, bud. We'll talk soon.
Love you too, bro. We'll talk.
What?
We'll I said we'll talk.
Okay, we'll talk. All right, love you, bud. Peace.
Later, man. And there you go. That was SUPcast. I don't even know what number it is anymore. And that was Zane. That was Zane or Zoin from WACKO, and I'm going to go eat some food because my lovely girlfriend, Allie, cooked me the food, and it is time. But everyone stay safe. We're doing the thing. We're still trying to stay. Oh, and don't forget to check out my live streams every Monday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I will be playing Downtown Brown music. Happy music for happy people. Okay, goodbye. Enjoy.